The line from the Institute of Security Studies by Ms. Ottilia Maunganidze. Ottilia, very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on PM News.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Now, Ottilia, please tell us about this court application for Al-Bashir's arrest. What does this really mean?
Well, the court application, which will actually be heard now at 3 o'clock, what we have at the moment is an interim order. What it is seeking is that South African authorities issue a corresponding arrest warrant to the one that the ICC has already issued to allow for the South African police to be able to arrest Al-Bashir as and if he arrives in South Africa.
Ottilia, so what will happen to Mr. Bashir? Does he stay in the country? Can he go about his duties at the AU? Where does this put him precisely?
Well, at the moment, we don't have the arrest warrant issued here in South Africa. So that would be what we heard at 3 o'clock. Based on reports that we've received that he may have boarded a flight at 11:30 South Sudan time, he would then only be arriving shortly. What that means is if he does arrive at the time when we have the arrest warrant, is that the South African authorities or the South African police more specifically would then have to arrest Al-Bashir if that arrest warrant is issued. I think it's just worth highlighting at this point that this is not the first time that an arrest warrant for Al-Bashir has been issued in South Africa. In 2009, he was meant to travel to South Africa to attend President Jacob Zuma's inauguration, and an urgent court application similar to the one that is being put forward today was made, and a local arrest warrant was issued. As you might recall, Al-Bashir did not travel to South Africa for that inauguration, and he has not attempted to come to South Africa since 2009.
Ottilia, look, can the AU collectively now decide to ignore an ICC warrant, as we've heard in this case?
Whether they can do it is a question altogether. They are able to do it. They are able to issue decisions, which they have done since July 2009, to say that in respect of heads of state, we will not cooperate. In respect of all other people indicted, they will cooperate. So questions of whether all men are equal, but some more equal than others, come to mind. So they have made that decision. The question, however, is what states do with their responsibility in terms of their international as well as regional obligations. States parties to the Rome Statute, like South Africa, have essentially two competing obligations that they must meet. Some countries have come forward to say we will align ourselves with the Rome Statute and we will rather arrest Al-Bashir if he comes here. Malawi, for example, in 2012 made that statement, and as a result, the AU summit was moved from Malawi back to Addis Ababa in Ethiopia.
Ottilia, this is really...
Other countries...
this is really what I want to know, because how different is this from when Mugabe was sanctioned and he couldn't travel to AU meetings?
I suppose the difference there is that with Al-Bashir, there is an existing international arrest warrant for him. The sanctions against President Mugabe at the time were political in nature, and they weren't related to criminal charges. So there is a bit of a difference in that regard. Obviously, it puts to question the AU's position on who it lends support to at any given time and in respect of what.
Ottilia, thank you so much for that clarification. That is Ms. Ottilia Maunganidze from the Institute for Security Studies talking to us about the big news this morning, the international warrant of arrest for President Al-Bashir.